It does not matter how old or young a child is. A child deserves to grow up with permanency, deserves to grow up with a family. When I wake up in the morning, I have the promise of knowing that a child who's in crisis is going to spend his or her first night in a safe home, one that we have certified and we know that they're truly an extraordinary family.
I just remember holding her on that very first night and just like being so in awe. Because it's very surreal, especially like having a biological kid and being pregnant for 9 months versus getting a phone call and then you're picking up a child. The main difference is just the bond, just seeing them play together and make each other laugh. That fills our home so much more than before. It was literally just like she was an angel sent to us. Everything about it just seemed like it was meant to be.
My youngest son was actually in 13 different foster homes before he was actually placed with me. The piece of himself that he describes leaving at every single group home and shelter that he went to, it really guides what I do as a CEO to make sure that we have the very best families possible that are never going to turn their backs on the kids. Because I know from that personal experience, seeing the tears run down my son's face, I can't let that happen to another child, and that's what motivates me every day at Extraordinary Families.
We have 2 children, Maya and Jacob.
And all along we thought we'd have a newborn baby girl, and we get a call for an 18-month-old boy who had been in 3 foster homes, who was waiting for a permanent placement. And he looked up at us, and we had a little poster, "Welcome home, Jacob." And he just made that our home his home, and it was a love story. The information we're given at Extraordinary Families is clear, it's well defined. Every employee that we're presented with is well informed, and they show up on time and they meet their deadlines. It's not just heart, it's strong leadership.
They're making a great impact in the foster care system, and we're excited that they found us little Maya.
When we adopted her, it was another big party. This was completely opening your heart and your life to an experience you can't predict. And for every adoption, it's different.
I wouldn't change it.
And now we're just 2 tired moms, you know?
Every family I have encountered at Extraordinary Families has done one thing really well, and that has provided unconditional love to these kids. We have to find more families for some of the 20,000 kids that are in foster care. The outcomes are not good in terms of the homelessness rate, the rate of incarceration, the rate of drug and alcohol use for the kids who are in foster care who do not realize permanency. That's why it is our mission to identify more families for kids. And then within our Up for Youth program, it is our driving force to empower our young adults with as much education and getting them the resources that they need and that emotional support through mentoring so that they really can go out and become the self-sufficient, independent adults that we know that they're capable of being.
I think I still would have been in a place of resentment. My mother couldn't raise me because of drug addiction. I grew up in South LA around gang members. You get teased about your sexuality, you know, if you're flamboyant or your voice, how you walk or the way you talk. I felt like it was time to really open up to someone.
80% of the time that he and I spend together should be focused on career goals. Maybe if he didn't have a bank account, to start a bank account, get his driver's license.
I feel like you can't really get far unless you're not confident about something, whether if it is for a driver's test or doing photography like I love. I'm sometimes not realistic with the choices I make. He's like, you just need to get a job, you know.
I mean, I've literally seen him bloom. You have everything you need. Just keep going. Keep going.
Thank you for just being there. It means a lot. Because there ain't nobody else, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't show that. I don't show that because when you come from a place where you can't really tell why people leave, it's hard. When somebody is really there, you know? So
At this point, we have established a relationship, and I'm gonna forever be concerned about his well-being.
I definitely know there's no one hindering me from doing what I need to do by myself now, you know?
You know, the idea of being a single mom and not having a partner in this always scared me. I have a friend who is a single mom, and I would look at her and go, gosh, I could never do that. I said the same thing about running a marathon, but I've run 16 marathons. And you don't know unless you just go for it. My heart is so full. And it's not just about me anymore. I have this is my family. I've been taking him to swim class since he was 6 months old. It gives him so much joy, and it gives me joy watching him and watching him develop. Because he was a preemie, you're concerned, is he developing right? Is he on track? And luckily through foster care, you get all of the services necessary to make sure these kids thrive. You're just bringing out this happiness that's been in the kid.
I'm so proud to be a foster dog mom.
To people that are entering this process with the fear of falling in love with children, knowing that there's a potential, they reunify, this is what I have to say. Confront those fears and do it anyway. That's it.
It's the most gratifying thing that I've ever put myself in, really.
I have heard it said that we'll never be able to find enough families for kids that are in foster care. We have to find more families for these kids. We must do it. For LA County and nationally, for these kids, we must do it. Failure is not an option.
They've been an extraordinary support system through the process, and that's so important because you need that. Extraordinary families. There's a reason that's their name.